Hello, hello, hello. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is there anybody out there? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I think there is. Scott, are you there?
I'm here. I'm
Wow.
here. You've reached Myer Realty's commercial corner.
Is there anybody else out there?
Yeah, there is. Bob, go ahead,
Yeah.
Bob.
Hello. Hello. I'm here.
Wow.
Still awake.
Okay, I'm not alone. I'm really afraid of being alone, so I'm glad there's a couple other people here with me to share in this news program that we like to bring to you on a weekly basis. Real estate news, specifically commercial real estate news. If you'd like to call in, the phone number is 844-790-8255. If you'd like to text in, 775-237-2266, and give us a call just to say hello. We just want to know
If anybody's listening.
if anybody's listening. We believe there are, and we know that a lot of you are very bashful out there. But give us a call and let us know you're alive, breathing, and with us in some form or fashion, so we know that we're just not talking to each other here, right?
Yeah, really. I hear you. Hey, listen, I'd like to first of all here, my formerly nicotine-stained fingers here, as Russ Limbaugh would say. Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw, Fred, when was this? Yeah, a day before yesterday this
No,
came
Sunday.
out?
Sunday's paper.
Sunday's paper, the headlines in Sunday's paper say, commercial real estate comeback.
Yes.
There's a question mark after it, but there's a comeback, too. I mean, they're just they're making a statement that is sort of a question, too. But there's a lot of good news out there,
Yeah,
correct?
a lot of good news, and we're going to talk about that good news with our local CCIM expert, Bob Lunsford, who is going to, we've got him in the fresh meat seat today. He kind of likes it over there. So but he's going to bring some of the facts and remove some fiction from this report, because we have anecdotal information for you from our office, from our lips to yours. We're not going to touch lips or anything, but you know what I'm saying.
Our
So
lips
anyway.
to your ears.
Yes, to your ears, yes. So we are going to pass this information because there is really a lot of exciting stuff to talk about regarding the comeback. We have basically three different sectors. We have industrial, office, and retail, and those are the three things we're going to talk about and where they're at today with regards to vacancy and what we've got going on out there. Bob, would you like to jump in here? And
Yeah, we want to emphasize that we're not talking about multifamily. We've talked about that in previous shows, and certainly there's high demand for that. Rents are going up. I believe that they were up over 11% last year. Reno had the third highest rise in rents in the country for a city of its size. So, but today we wanted to talk about true commercial, retail, industrial, and office sectors in this market. And if you've been in this region for 10 years or so, you really saw the swing in prices that started in the early 2000s, and then it culminated in that period from about 2007, 2006 to about 2008 or 9. And there was a huge demand. Prices were going through the roof and everything. And then the market fell off the other side, and it really went through a very difficult recession all over Nevada, probably the worst recession in Nevada's history, from about 2010 to about 2013 or 14, really. And that greatly affected the commercial real estate market. And it had a very significant impact, of which it's still recovering to some degree. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the tone of this article, and this was a glaring front page article that appeared on last Sunday's Reno Gazette Journal. Covered most of the front page, and the tone of the article was interesting because it really questioned if that type of commercial real estate is coming back, and yes, emphatically it has and is, and it's still recovering to some degree. Some of those sectors are doing a little bit better than others. But I wanted to break that down a little bit and review what was in that article. For example, in retail, the vacancy in the first quarter of 2013, the retail vacancy was 17.3, as reported by CBRE, one of the large real estate, commercial real estate brokerages
Ouch.
in this market. And that comparatively, that you would look at a healthy market as 7 to 8% vacancy. So what happens, of course, when there's that vacancy is prices fall, rents are down, and the value of commercial real estate falls accordingly. So there's a lockstep relationship between the price of commercial real estate and the income it generates. So in contrast to that, in the first quarter of 2016, the net absorption was 192,000 square feet. That was the fifth consecutive quarter of net absorption. That means that the demand was greater than the supply. So that's the improvement towards a healthy market. Much of that retail expansion happened to be in restaurants, which were a significant component, but there was occupancy and increasing
Bars.
use across that segment. So currently new construction is stagnant due to an oversupply in the market, but as rents continue to rise, absorption continues, then there will be new construction. Now comparatively, that is with the industrial market, the current vacancy is around 6%. That was as of the last quarter of 2015, again reported by CBRE. There is a significant demand for industrial buildings smaller than 100,000 square feet. And we know that just based on that statistic, but we also know that within our office, certainly that product is hard to find. What this has occurred, or what has happened as a result of that demand, is that there is some speculative building going on. For example, Dermody Properties have broken ground on a new development just behind Boomtown, 800,000 square feet, very significant industrial buildings, in 4 buildings ranging from 30,000 to 200,000 square feet. So there's obviously a demand for that type of property, and they wouldn't broken ground on something like that unless they had done enough research to show that they can quickly fill that up.
Right, they're going to do their homework on that before they do it.
Exactly. So right now you would characterize the industrial segment of the market as healthy. There's a nice balance between speculative development and tenant demand. So the third segment of this industrial market is office. And as compared to retail and industrial, it's been a little bit of a weak sister. There's always been some degree of vacancy, even at the peak of the market in late 2000s. But that market, which was hammered so severely, actually has come back a little bit. There was even absorption during the first quarter of 2016, again reported by CBRE. So that means that the demand and the supply were balanced. And you want to see that demand exceed the absorption in the office sector, yes. So certainly building prices in 2015 increased over 2014, and that again is a reflection of the demand for the market. That's as reported by Tim Ruffin of Colliers. So there was no new building, speculative building that occurred in 2015, but as of the first quarter of 2016, there was a 40,000 square foot, 4-story Class A speculative building being developed by McKinsey Development in Reno. So that actually is a positive thing, that new office building going up, and especially a Class A building, the first in several years.
I would imagine that's probably, South Reno? They don't say,
That's
but that'd
right by my house. That's in the
is that where it's going?
corporate center at the Kiski Lane roundabout. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So the other trend in that retail market, or excuse me, in the office market, is that a lot of those big box retails were converted into office space. So that had some degree of absorption that occurred as a result of that conversion. So.
Okay. Let me break in there for just a second, Bob, because
Yes.
we're running out of time for this segment. So we're going to go to a break here in just a minute, but we're going
We'll
to
let you pick it up.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
let Bob pick it up in a moment here, right after we take a little short break. So stick around, don't go anywhere. This is
Give us a call, 844-790-8255. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Business owners and entrepreneurs.
Hello, we're back. This is Myer
Realty's Commercial Corner.
Thank you, Scott. And we are back with Bob Lunsford, Fred Myer, and Scott Myer, here to chat with you today about the state of commercial real estate, the state of commercial real estate. And Bob has been sharing with us some information that was released recently from some larger commercial houses here in town that were talked to by some folks at RGJ, and they put it on the front page of the paper because it was definitely newsworthy information and very exciting information for us here locally. And whether you're in real estate or not, it speaks volumes about sort of what we've come out of and what we're coming into. And that, I think, Bob, is sort of a liftoff for you to talk about. Sort of, we've talked about a bit about here about sort of the state currently of retail, industrial, and office as of today, or to this point. Let's talk a little bit about sort of maybe where things are going and why we think they're going there.
And that's a good point. A lot of this demand was sort of the market was beginning to recover anyway, but it really as a result of the Tesla location out at the Trick Park. Their gigafactory, that created national attention here, and it drove a lot of other businesses into this market. And so really just the Tesla development is just one of several new businesses that have located here. And these new businesses are expected to employ roughly 60,000 people in the next 5 years. So that's a huge increase in our population as well as employment. That's going to drive houses. That's going to demand new infrastructure development.
Traffic.
And a whole host of things that
Ugh.
maybe you might like or maybe you might not. Traffic.
Yeah,
for
traffic, we
example.
won't like
Yeah.
that part, but it does bring with it some good, and always there's some, negative with positive, and there will be some negative. There's going to be some pressure on the infrastructure, schools, and services, and, taxes might be going up a little bit. Of course, we should see a lot of revenue from, or, well, maybe not a lot of revenue, actually. There was some revenue forgiveness here for a while to get some of these companies here. So it will be a challenge to sort of make that all sort of meet in the middle somewhere. But it is exciting, and all I think a lot of this retail, Bob and I were talking on the break, a lot of this retail that's going on, it's folks jumping out in front of this anticipated influx of folks coming to our area for these jobs. And these jobs are better paying jobs than we've seen here in our specific area ever, really. I mean, starting base pay for instance, Tesla, I understand is going to be something like $25 an hour. And that's probably a starting pay at the bottom entry level, and it's going to go up from there. So that is going to help drive things for us. Scott, I see you're circling some things there you wanted to cull out of the paper.
I am. Yeah, this is out of the paper, and this is tying into what Bob said. They talk about strong corporate activity in northern Nevada continues to make the industrial segment, which Bob was talking about earlier, the most valuable player of the commercial real estate sector. And then it also goes into, they talk about, of course, Tesla, which is the buzzword, and the Switch is another one. But then there's a new player that's talking about coming, I guess, and that's called Rackspace. They say they're eyeing space in the area, giving Northern Nevada a much-needed boost on the technology side as well. And then they get in industrial is definitely leading the way. The economists and everyone else said industrial would bring us out of the recession and would recover the quickest. And now you're seeing vacancy rates drop and speculative construction happening, which is the sign that the market is heating up. So that's another thing that speaks to what Bob was talking about earlier. And then manufacturing, which is something that we really are, I think the city fathers and EDON are really trying to get some manufacturing. They're working on that. And they talk about manufacturing demand also continues to spill over from California. And this is interesting. They talk about because of the recent increase in the $15 an hour increase that they're doing in California, although it hasn't
minimum wage.
Yeah, I'm sorry, minimum wage increase, which
Right.
it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be phased in. And they're saying that that's going to push, just like their taxes do, that'll also push manufacturing and people, just push business our way over the border. The recent announcement of a minimum wage hike by California is further adding to the already strong activity that's pushing business over our way.
We're glad that's a porous border, aren't we?
Yeah. So basically the article also is saying that the whole perception of investing in Reno has changed. All these things have changed the perception, the big picture about Reno in a big way that a lot of people that aren't following it closely may not realize.
But I think, anecdotally, this also, we see this at our level as well. In our office, we see a lot of investment demand. I mean, we see a lot of buyers out there that are seeking product, particularly industrial and sometimes multifamily, that we can't find product for them. And that speaks a lot to demand, too. I mean, for one thing, a lot of these sellers out there are holding out, expecting the same thing, so they're raising their prices. The cap rates are going down. So it's difficult sometimes to find the right product. But, we have a network out. We have some deals that we're working on now, of which we have some properties that were unlisted we were able to find in this market. So if you're a seller out there, give us a call. I mean, certainly we can move your property, and we have creative ways of putting a transaction together.
And buyers waiting at 1031 money, by the way. They have clocks ticking.
Give them your cell number if somebody wants to give us a call.
If you want to give us a call, call 745-2918. Once again, that's 775-745-2918, and talk with us about what you might have.
And we have also, speaking of that, we've got tell them about the property on Bible and what you have, what you're looking for.
Well, my partner here, Bob, and I have been working on this deal for a while. It is a sale leaseback, and what it is it's in Reno, very centrally located. It's a commercial kitchen property, and these are relatively rare beasts in this marketplace. There's not a lot of them. So what they are is basically, if you have a food truck, for instance, or some, if you sell food and you prepare food and you don't have a restaurant to fix it in, you need a licensed kitchen, they call it. So this place has that. It's got 3 licensed kitchens in it. So we are putting together a deal for this property, and we are looking for basically folks who need licensed kitchen space to come in and lease some of this space. Once again, if you know anyone, food truck folks out there, anybody who has that need, that's very specific need, there's not many places you can get that, find that service. Give us a call at 745-2918. We'd be happy to help you with that need. What else? Oh, wait, I was going to talk about.
Go ahead.
Well, once again, also, the building we're in, we have space there available. I want to get this in really quick. 1155 West 4th Street. We've got retail space downstairs. Our office happens to be there as well, but we have retail space downstairs anywhere from about, I think, 1,000 square feet up to now. We've filled a few spaces, so I think the largest space we have right now on the retail downstairs level is 3,300 feet. We could make some larger spaces with knocking out some walls.
And what are the prices on those, Fred?
The prices are $1.13 all in, so that's basically everything is included in that rate. We're medically parked, so what that means is basically we have lots of parking, so parking is not an issue because we are actually zoned for medical office upstairs, or medical, straight medical. So we have office upstairs that we have 1,700 plus square foot dental facility that's available. If you know any dentists out there, give us a call. looking for space. And then we have office up there. And the office up there is $1.25 a foot. That's once again all in. That's inclusive of cams and everything. For entry level, we have elevators at both ends and stairs at both ends. It's a nice building. We're doing some work on it right now, getting ready to do some paving and some carpet. So it's going to even be nicer and very conveniently located right off the Keystone I-80 exit there, right in the Save Mart parking lot, basically, is where we are, facing West 4th Street.
Yeah, okay, so I'd like to get back and just finish up a little bit about this article I was reading. This is still that commercial article. This just kind of sums it up. Looking ahead, the trends look positive for the area. Commercial real estate watchers agreed. Reno Tahoe International Airport added several new flights and routes while also posting its first passenger growth in decades, in addition to record cargo hauls. Nevada also was number 2, the most popular destination for movers in the West, according to United Van Lines. I think that's pretty interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
National Movers Study. For Northern Nevada, a big part of it involves the national attention gained from big economic development wins, such as, once again, Gigafactory, Ruffin said. So it's all good news that we're hearing, and this stuff is slowly filtering into the economy, and it's going to be a while, but it all looks good for the future, and we just wanted to report that to you here at Myer Realty's Commercial Corner. We appreciate you listening. And
once again, our phone number is 745-2918. Don't be afraid to give us a call. We're easy to talk to.
That's our personal cell number. Yeah, you can get right to us.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.